He used to pause the scene and ask us, what is Tom Cruise saying? Translate that for me. My father plays a huge role here. He used to watch Hollywood action a lot. He still watches that Hollywood action. He was not a fan of local movies that are still being produced here. He was like, they don't look like movies. They look fake. Their action look fake. Look at Tom Cruise. The way he does that, it looks real, and it's actually real. But just watch his movies. And he used to force us and just watch this movie. And when we used to watch these movies, it just goes like this above our head. Like, what are they talking about? He put us, me and my younger brother, into an English medium school just because of his passion for Hollywood movies and stuff like that. He thinks speaking English is very cool. So yeah, this is how I guess we forcefully learned that, but we are very grateful for that.
Welcome everybody to the Tango One podcast. I'm your host, as always, Tony Smith, and we're here to inspire you to do more and be more. My regular co-host, Mike Tafazio, is off on vacation today, so we tried to switch it up, and we're bringing in the man who's usually behind the camera, but from a very long way away, producing the show. My guy, Fahad Zaffar from, you're in Pakistan, right, man?
I'm from Pakistan, yes.
And is that where you are right now that I'm talking to you?
Yes, I am. I'm in Pakistan.
Oh my God,
right
man.
Now.
Yeah. What time is it there?
It's 4:30
p.m. 7:30 a.m. here, 4:30 p.m. there. And that's been part of the coolest part dealing with you is we're on totally different time zones and totally different parts of the world, but you've become like a buddy over the last couple of months.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure. I've never been on a podcast before, and I'm really excited. I hope this goes well.
Oh, it's going to go well. Mike was so pumped when I said you were coming on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I was thinking that Mike goes on a lot of vacations. Like, he's making a lot of money, right?
Yeah, this dude, I don't know. He says he's got no money all the time, but he sure seems like he's out of town every other week, basically, at some cottage or something.
Awesome. So they have their first kid, or what's are they guys traveling with the kids or what?
No, they don't have the baby yet. It'll be coming soon. I got invited to the baby shower, my wife and I, so we'll be going to that very soon. So I think in the next month or so they should be having the baby. But Lisa, his wife, her family's from Northern Ontario, which is the province we live in. So they head up there a lot to hang out. It's beautiful up there this time of year. So swimming and cottaging and whatever else he's doing.
That's awesome. So I'm really excited for the you guys are launching 6WT again. Like I saw the red carpet event, man. It was fire. It was amazing.
Yeah, the red carpet was awesome. The 6WT is coming soon. We'll be launching right at the end of September, basically the last weekend of September, where officially the dates will kind of the weigh-ins will be September, but the really challenge will start basically the 1st of October. So really pumped about that. And I think not only do you produce the show, but you do all the gym content. You take in all those little videos of Danny and I and the team when we're talking in the gym, and we send them your way, and you get after that and do it. So that's I wanted to ask you about. So 60-second reels, is that the name of your company?
Yes, that's the name of the company. It's an LLC registered in USA. So yeah, this is how it goes.
Okay. And how long have you had that?
Officially, it's like a year since I have that name. Before that, I was working as you can call a freelancer. So before that, I shifted from hospitality. So it's like a long journey. I've been in hospitality for 8 years and served in hospitality. And after COVID, things changed a lot. Hospitality went down, the whole industry, the job opportunities and everything. The town where I live, there were no options. The restaurants were shut down, hotels were shut down, and everything. So in COVID, I had my first baby, my first girl. So she came, and everything changed. I think that was the time when God has different plans for me. So you won't believe, I was making around $100 at that time. If you convert that in my local currency, it was less than $100. And I have no clue that I would ever be making approximately 10K a month. So I have no idea about that. But God has different plan. When I had my first girl, my first beautiful daughter, she changed everything. The transition was not smooth at all. It was not smooth. It was like a roller coaster. I had no idea I would be good in media and making videos for you guys, sitting in a different corner of the world. But guess it is what it is. God has different plans for us. You just have to be faithful. You have to be dedicated. You have to be tangible enough to learn new things, because I think this is one thing that people struggle with a lot. They have a fear of change, like it's not easy to change. But I think the success is right after that. Like, if you get to change something, learn new skills, adapt it, and monetize it, and you'll be good to go. No time of uh, no time in life you can say that this is it, like this is what I have to do rest of my life. No, like things get changed. I mean, like, look at you guys. If I would be in such department, or SWAT or something like that, I would never have thought to open a gym. That's a way different thing. Like that's a switch. So I think life flows like that. Things have been amazing. The best part of working as a remote producer or working in a media space for people like you is that you tend to see a different world. Like, let me explain in a different words that you guys do the podcast, send it our way. While editing your podcast, my team and I feels like we've been working in your garage, editing content and stuff, like for you there. Like, it's like so fun. Like, you get to hear the real life stories. I know when you went to Mexico, all the stories and everything. It feels like a part of a family now. So I've been really pleased. In the same way, I have a client. His name is Andrew. He's from United States, and he's doing a great job. He bought the yacht last summers, and he's doing amazing. So it's been like a year and a half working with him, and I saw his progress. Like the day he was struggling, the day he started monetizing, he started his own offer, and and now when he bought his yacht, it feels like I've been his
Wow.
journey. I've seen everything, the ups and downs and everything. So it's really amazing. It's never like uh, I'm far away sitting in Pakistan away from you guys. It's like a family. I saw ups and downs and everything. So it's
I
fun, man.
was
It's fun.
telling people that today. I'm like, I have my producer, my content manager, I guess, whatever you want to call yourself. But he's like, for me, it's like, no, Fahad's part of the Garage Gym team. He's part of the Tango One team. Like, you and I communicate. I communicate as much with you as I do with any employee that I have, any team member that I have. We
Yeah,
communicate every morning. We pretty much talk. We kind of,
yeah.
I usually have a good idea of what you're doing during the day, personally and professionally, and it's been a real cool like environment. It does not feel like you're in Pakistan. The world has changed so much. So
Yeah, yeah,
take me
yeah.
back. What were you doing in hospitality?
So I have started. It's an institute here that teaches about hospitality in general, where you can they have branches where you can go into tourism, you can go into hotels, and you can go into restaurant. And I chose the restaurant just because I'm a foodie, and I think like going into a restaurant would be much fun. But that was not the case. So people who are in food and beverages, they had a lot to deal with. Like, trust me, it's so difficult to work in food and beverages. You have to take care of the expiries and a lot of things. You have to deal with food. Like, I mean, people are so possessed with food. They are very touchy, they are very emotional about their food. Like, sometimes they feel happy, they go to restaurant, they eat something. Even when they are not happy, they're feeling down, they went to restaurant and have something to make them feel better. So food and beverage is a very very touchy industry in hospitality to work on, and I've been a part of hospitality for like 7 years. Only worked in the restaurant, food and beverages, and I started as a server. We call it server.
Yep.
I guess you guys call it waiters. We call it server.
Yes,
Started as
servers,
a
waiters.
Yeah, we call it servers. Started as a server, been on the floor, serving the dishes and cleaning the tables and stuff like that. And even my manager was an asshole. He used to uh, he used to but he did it for a good cause. I later get to understand when I promoted as a manager myself. What he used to do is, whenever he hires a new employee, he handed him a mop or a cloth of a cloth to wipe up all the mirrors and everything. And I was like, I'm a fresh graduate in hospitality, and what I'm getting is a cloth and a mop to mop the floor. Like, what is it like? is that what you guys treat your fresh graduates like? And he was like, just do what I'm saying. And I just keep on doing that. And then he, instead of putting me on some managerial position, he put me in the service, like, just go serve dishes and do the service. And I did that. And when I promoted after 1.5 year or something, I get to realize that if I wouldn't have done all these things, I would not be able to monitor or judge my lower staff, like, on that basis. Like, if I myself don't know how to do the dishes and how to serve properly, because we have proper ethics, like, we have to serve it this way, put the glass on the right and the fork, and that's a lot of sequence. I forget it all, and I'm glad I forget it all. So yeah, so there was a lot of ethics and everything. And I was so impressed. Like, hospitality teaches you a lot. Like, the first and foremost, it teaches you to be patient. Like, that really
Absolutely.
helps me. Yeah, that really helps me in my everyday life. Like, you have to be patient, whatever goes. Sometimes life is not easy. There's a lot of things going on around you, but you have to work on your breath. You have to uh, pause down, don't react, be respectful. And doing it all together, it's very difficult. So hospitality teaches me a lot.
Right.
And if you would ask me that, what if you would directly start into media, would you be the same, Fahad? I would say no, not at all. Because the communication, because I was an introvert from the very beginning. I was a complete introvert, and choosing hospitality was the reason that I want to step out of my comfort zone and meet new people and everything. And hospitality does it well. So if I would be directly landed into media space, how would I be able to communicate with you guys and get to understand and everything? I
Absolutely.
would be introvert, would never be appear on camera and talk to amazing people like you. So yeah, hospitality shapes me. And I'm really grateful for my mentors and everyone. Yeah.
That's incredible. My wife, Danny, when she hires people, she does all the
Uh-huh.
hiring pretty much because I'm no good at it, I guess.
Hmm.
Except for you, I hired you. Yeah, but she always looks for hospitality on people's resumes. We
Really?
feel like at the gym, as long as you have a passion for fitness, we can teach you the ins and outs of coaching people. We can teach you how to bench press. As long as you
Hmm.
like, what we can't teach you is how to like interact with people.
Hmm.
That's a slow experienced process, and we need you. You have, when you come into my gym, you're going to be in front of anywhere from 10 to 20 successful people that are and established people in their lives. And for you to come in and tell them what to do, but to gain their respect and make them have fun, is it takes a special person. And I think the servers, that's why she loves servers, is because you are forced to do that. You are forced to
Yeah.
be and to talk to people of all different religions, races, beliefs, whether that be like spiritual beliefs or like just beliefs, political beliefs. You're talking to people in all different, and you have to come together, and you're working for your tip, right? So you are getting in there and you're conversating and you're making these things happen. And we find that our servers, our right hand girl Nikki, she was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
pregnant, she just had her baby, and she was a server, and Danny loved her from day one, and she's like the best thing we ever hired, right? We hired her 7 years ago, and we can't get rid of her, and it's
Oh.
unreal. So that is like, for sure, I agree with you there that the servers are huge. And when I first connected with you, so I went on Fiverr, and I
Yeah.
just found somebody like your thing just saying I liked your picture of your smiling, and you had some good reviews. I emailed like 3 people that day, and I wasn't going to go searching for 20. I emailed
Yeah.
3. You're the first person to answer, and we jumped on a call, and that was what was it. It was the comfort level of our conversation. I'm like, man, I can hang out with this guy, because I really believe, some people say don't mix friendship and business, but I'm the opposite. I need to have, and we don't have to be best of friends, but I need to have some kind of relationship where I actually care and connect with the person across from me, especially in this state, even more so, I think, because we're just on a screen. We're not going to meet for tacos like next week. We have coffee together maybe once a month and have a conversation. And I need to feel good after I get off that phone call to really trust
Yeah.
and invest in somebody.
Yeah. I totally agree. I totally agree with you. Uh, Man, I think the vibe is really important. Like, if you don't get to vibe with someone, like, there's no point of collaborating. Like, you get to vibe with it. Like for example, I don't take every query for for the sake of money. Like there's no point of, because I have seen days in the beginning of my career, uh, you get to work with them, but later on you realize that this is not your vibe. You don't feel motivated to work with a guy who's in the fitness industry, who has three gyms. How many gyms you guys have? I know
Yeah,
it's three
three.
locations. Three locations. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm right. So uh, so there's no point of vibing if you don't feel it inside. Like there should be something, some belief that you feel like, yeah, you're on the same page, because I'm working on myself. I feel like I don't feel like getting up early, working on myself, going to the gym and everything, but I still do. And you guys do the same, motivate people and everything. So that's one thing for me to kind of work together and collaborate. And down the road I'll be editing and repurposing the content that would help me, eventually to stay motivated. Instead of editing a video of somebody eating a burger or telling the benefits of eating a burger, I'd rather prefer editing a video of someone who's telling me to go and shut the fuck up and do workout.
Lift some weights. Lift some weights. Eat
Yeah,
some meat. Lift some
yeah,
weights.
yeah. So yeah, I
Man.
think
All right.
vibe is.
So Mike is not here, but we got to hit up his segment of the show that he sponsors every week, and we know that we start with the morning wood. So the morning
Mhm.
wood, sponsored by Mike DeFazio of Reclaim Artistry. You can hit up Mike on Instagram if you're looking for a quote. Mike is also doing woodworkers. He's coaching woodworkers now, which has been a huge step for him. So if you're looking for either of those services, you need some cool furniture built, or you're looking to kind of build your woodworking business, and you listen to our show, hit up Mike and he will set you up. So the morning wood is where we get we get one of our listeners to send us a question, whether that comes from Instagram or from our emails or from the show notes. This week, though, Mike is the one who submitted the question. Okay,
Oh,
so Mike has question for Fahad is, uh, what is the coolest piece of content you have ever had to edit in
oh
60 seconds
my
and
god,
make it be
oh
60
my
seconds? Because I think
god.
like that's a challenge. I know like for me, and I love this question from Mike, and I know he goes through it too. One of the challenges for me is like people aren't going to pay attention, but I want to get all the information out and I want to make it cool, but it's got to be like 60 seconds or less. So what do Mr. 60-second reel? What is that challenge for you?
Uh, it was not too long ago. I get the chance to work with Gary Vee's media agency. It's called
Oh,
Vayner Media.
cool.
Yeah, and things were going pretty good. It was like a normal project to me. We were working on it and everything. And all of a sudden, I don't know why, uh, I was sipping my coffee, and I had a curiosity out of nowhere. Like, just click on the profile and had a look at this guy. Like, who is he? Like, where he's based off and stuff like that. I was just maybe getting bored or something. I opened his profile and I saw that he works for Vayner Media, and I was like, Vayner Media, like what Vayner Media? I don't know, because we all know Gary V by the name of Gary V, right? So I
Right.
just so I just Google it, like what's Vayner Media, and I get to see that it's Gary Vee's own digital and marketing agency based in New York. I was like, what the heck? We are working on a project that, that's so big, and I didn't knew this. And I just sent him a message. Like, I was like, hey bro, where are you where are you from? And he was like, I'm from New York. And I was like, who do you work for? And he was like, I work for Vayner Media. And I was like, is this the Gary V's Vayner Media? And he was like, yes it is. And I was like, dude, you should have told me this earlier, man. This is so big. Because when I started my career, I've been looking at Alex Hormozi and Gary Vee for the inspiration and everything. They've been the inspiration and my godfather in the media space. And yeah, and we had so much fun working together, uh pour my heart and soul into it, and ended up getting the best project of my entire life. My team and I had really fun working on it. And this is like a what do you call it, a hall of fame. There's like a star
Yes.
star in our hall of fame. So yeah, it was the project that I really enjoyed working with, and I'm really proud of that.
Oh, that's outstanding, man. I had no clue. Or you keep
Yeah.
saying team. How many people do you have working with you?
Yeah, so I have a physical office, which where I'm sitting right now. We have a team of five here. One of them is a
Wow.
script writer, and three of them are editors, and one of them is a social media managers who get to post and on our client social media and everything. And then we have three people who are working remotely all across Pakistan here. So two of them are like researchers who get to research on what's trending and everything, the SEO side of the boring side of things that nobody get to see. And one of them is a thumbnail designer. You can call her a graphic designer. So yeah, we are a team of nine, including me. So yeah.
Wow, man, that's outstanding. And
Yeah.
how do you, so you've got people remotely, you got people in house. I know one of the struggles that you've heard me talk about on the podcast with leading is always going to be communication. Do you have something that you kind of tie in? Like, do you have weekly meetings? Like, do you have weekly one-on-one meetings? How do you kind of continue your cadence of communication to make sure the team, you guys have a lot of moving parts. Like, I don't know if people understand, I didn't fully understand until I started dealing with you is I'm uploading so much content to your team and then you guys take it and you work your magic. But I'm loading sometimes some of these videos that you edit together are four different videos that I've sent to you and you guys make them into one because I mess up. I skip over my words. Now I just keep recording because I know you guys are going to make me look good no matter what. But that's we're setting so much stuff. So if you had 10 clients or 20 clients, I don't know what that is. That's a lot of content you've got to kind of stay organized on.
Yeah. So first of all, we don't take too much clients because I don't believe in numbers. I believe in quality, and working with a few clients on a really good budget is way better than working with so many clients. We're working with only 6 to 7 clients right now, and they all are into different spaces, but mostly the coaches, guys like you who are into coaching space and everything. So in terms of communication, what I think is I don't believe in meetings, and not at all on way too much meeting. I just give them the deadlines and just let them set free. If I could show you my office, we have PlayStation here, we have foosball, we have Netflix area, we have such a cool things around here. So I just let them do whatever they want to do. So they don't feel like work at all, and they feel like their comfort, they feel like motivated, because it's a human nature. I don't feel more productive when somebody's on my head, point a gun at my head that complete this task by the end of this day or something like that. I don't feel productive because we are in creative space. Creativity doesn't come like that. Creativity just flows. It's like arrival from above, somewhere from the heaven. So you have to leave the space. So a lot of meetings and a lot of communication doesn't work. Of course we are in a physical space, but we don't communicate that much. I know that sounds weird, and you don't feel like that's realistic, but it's true. I have my own office. They had their own space. In fact, I have a little room, and they had the whole office. It's like that. It's like I just take 10% of this office, and they just had 90%. So I just open my room and just sit there, and they just take care of the rest. So they did, until unless they just meet the deadlines. I don't force them. I don't call them for the meeting. And of course, there are just errors and stuff like that. You just have to go back and forth. I just sit down with them, had a conversation, or even they are remote workers with me, remote team members. We just hop on a Zoom meeting, maybe once in a month, and we just had a conversation. Like, if this is something going on in your life, is it everything good on your, with your family, with yourself? Is your mental health good? You want to talk about something? Is it me? Am I just putting a lot of work on you? Is it a lot of pressure or something like that? When you do that, you get to see so much better results, productivity wise, creativity wise, and in terms of, the whole cycle went smoother. My family, they criticize me a lot. My younger brother, he's in the same space, in the same media space with me, and he criticizes me a lot. He's like, no, business doesn't work like that. This is why you're stuck at 10K at the moment, and you are not scaling. It's because you are not treating your employees and your team members strictly, and like you're not putting enough pressure on them and stuff like that. Look at me. I'm younger than you, and I'm making so much money more than you, and stuff like that, and blah blah blah. You don't have to be friendly. You just have to uh you just have to keep a distance with them. But I don't believe that. I think being friendly is okay, but being friend is not. So just be friendly, just not be friend. So until and unless things are going good, being friendly is not bad. And
No,
no, and not too many meetings are needed, unless until and unless it's very important and there's something that you cannot communicate and discuss on the text or WhatsApp. So yeah, you can hop on a meetings, but there's not too much meeting needing in the creative space. I know this sounds weird, because we are dealing with a lot of tasks daily. We're doing a lot of work, but we don't communicate much. We have a Slack channel, but we rarely drop a message or two on a daily basis. And these messages are sometimes about project done or is ready for review. These are the type of messages we do on a daily basis. That's it. There's not
really.
much. So yeah,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
Honestly, yeah,
It's interesting. I love to hear it though, and it's always I love watching people talk. So when you start to talk about your team, you start talking about your business, your face lights up. You talk about your daughter, face lights up. Well, I love seeing that, man, and that's like that shows the passion that you have for it. And it's not all about profits, man. I know we get into business because
yeah,
we do want to make money, and that's a necessary part of doing business. But man, if you're just here for the profits, then you might as well just be. I should have stayed as a cop because I was sure making a lot more money there than I am here, right? So if it's all about profits and not about passion, you're gonna feel stuck every day and not want to be part of it. So I
yeah,
firmly believe in that, and I think you're doing a great job on that. So when it got in,
thank
when
you.
you started with this social media thing, did you just have a phone and like how did you go from I'm working in the restaurants? I guess this is a lot of things I want to ask in this one question here. Is one like my maybe preconceptions or misconceptions of Fiverr was that I'm going to be dealing with somebody in another country and it's going to be language is going to be a huge barrier for me. Work and communication is going to be a barrier, not just because of language, because of time zones. And I've had nothing. Like it's been the exact opposite. So one, like your English is like incredible. Like it's better than mine. You're fixing my stuff half the time. But like,
Nah.
so where did the English come from, and like how did you find yourself in this? You said you're dealing with Americans. You're dealing with me, a Canadian. Are you dealing with mostly English speaking people?
Yeah, 99%.
Really?
99% people speak English and they are native speakers. And I often do get nervous still today, because hopping on this call, hopping on this podcast, I was nervous, like I'm not native. And this time it's not going to be Tony who's going to listen to me. It's
Right.
going to be his audience. Like, what they're going to think, like, what type of English do I speak? Like, my pronunciation or my grammar won't be good, and stuff like that. But when we talk about where do I land that, I was from the very beginning. I was a English Western music fan, like from the very beginning.
Okay.
Rap plays a huge role in this, and listening to Kendrick Lamar, Drake, uh,
My
you
guy
know,
learned English from
Eminem.
Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Drake is just up the
Yeah,
street, in Toronto, right? Like just up the street from us.
yeah. So listening to rap really helped me. And one thing I've learned is that you cannot learn English by reading text. That's my assumption. I might be wrong. You cannot learn English by reading text. You can learn English by communicating, listening, communicating, listening. That's it. That's the only thing, because it's more of like a flow, instead of like a more of being into grammar and nitty gritty stuff like that. So I think it flows naturally. My father plays a huge role here, because when we were child and we were like 10 or so, he used to watch Hollywood action a lot. He still watches that Hollywood action. He was not a fan of local movies that are still being produced here. He was like, they don't look like movies. They look fake. Their action look fake. Look at Tom Cruise, the way he does that, it looks real, and it's actually real. But just watch his movies. And he used to force us, and just watch this movie. And when we used to watch these movies, it just goes like this above our head, like what are they talking about? But the
Right.
visuals make stories. Visually you feel to have a feeling about that, what's going on in the movie. And then we grow. He put us, me and my younger brother, into an English medium school. He was very fond of, because he was just because of his passion for Hollywood movies and stuff like that. He thinks speaking English is very cool, which I think too. But I think it's just a language. But he used to think that speaking English is so cool. Like, if my kids get to speak English, this would be so cool, that I raised them so well. So he used to put us into an English medium school. We went there, and there was like a fine if we don't speak English and stuff like that. And we were forcefully being speaking English and everything. And this is where we kind of learned this stuff and everything. And over the time, practicing, listening songs, watching movies, and it gets better. And after we kind of passed a high school, then he used to sit with us and watch movies and ask me. He used to pause the scene and ask us, what did he say? Translate that for me. And he was like that much fond of English movies. And he was like amazing. Because back then there was no dubbing and everything.
Right.
Because right now we have Hollywood movies dubbed into our local languages and stuff like that. But back then there was no dubbing and everything. So he used to pause the scene and ask us, translate that for me. What is Tom Cruise saying? Translate that for me. So yeah, this is how I guess we forcefully learned that. But we are very grateful for that. Because there's not a lot of people who get to talk, but they are very talented. They are so much talented than me. You can say I'm not even just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of talent in Pakistan and India, especially in just I'm sure you heard about India as well. India and Pakistan, they have so much talent, but a biggest barrier is the language barrier. They don't have sometimes they don't have the confidence to talk about it, and sometimes it's just the language. Like, so if we somehow get to overcome that, we can definitely revolutionize the whole freelancing space. Because right now the US is on the number one in this freelancing and remote sort of jobs and everything. And on number two there's India, and on number three it's Pakistan. So can you imagine, like, after USA it's India and Pakistan. So it's huge. It's so big. So
I'm
if
surprised USA is number one, to be honest with you,
yeah,
because on Fiverr it seemed like it was very India, Pakistan, Philippines was also popular.
let me tell you the reason. The Americans get to outsource the work, and they just get it done by us locals, Pakistanis and Indians, just because of that language barrier. So they
Right.
consider as the number one freelancers.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, in dealing
Yeah.
with Canadians, Americans, white people, let's say, what do you think? Like, do you see as like the biggest stereotypes coming from us to you? Like, what do you think that I'm sure you have to knock down? We all have our biases. We get on this phone call. What do people think about you or the people that you're working with in terms of that you think is probably the thing that you need to knock down the most?
Uh, Tony, you won't believe, when I first hop on a call with a guy. I will never ever forget his name. His name is Garen. He's doing an amazing job, straight up from America. His name is Garen, and he gave me the confidence to hop on a call. I was very shy. I was very hesitant. Like, how am I going to speak to him? Like, and he forced me, and he was like, man, I know you. I've seen your work. Just look at you. Just hop on a call, and you're gonna do good. And that day, the whole concept and whole myths break down, that we are from a third world country, and we have language barriers. You guys don't like us, and we are not we are not stuff like that. But the day I started hop on a call and started in conversation with you guys are amazing, honestly. Because what I was reading the other day was that if you get to hire somebody in America, like in my space, you have to pay him around 150 dollars an hour. And on the other hand, if you just get to hire an Indian or a Pakistani, you can hire them for like less than $20 an hour. So it's not like that narratives just come down to an end, that it's not just the pricing or stuff like that, but you guys really value that what the other third world countries has to offer, and how they can really collaborate with us and get to work with us, and generate revenue for themselves and their country, and eventually evolve. Because currently my country is making around $2.2 billion every year, just through the freelancing and everything. And it is
Wow.
huge, and it is huge. because because we're not a lot of big country like India, but we are a very small country. But bringing in $2.2 billion is huge, and it's all because of the freelancing, and it's all because of the trust you guys had on us. But because look, if we won't be productive and we won't be resourceful and we won't be useful, why would somebody pay a single dollar or a single penny, if that makes sense? No.
No,
So
absolutely.
I've seen some biggest companies collaborating with local talent here in Pakistan and in India, and I really look forward to more possible opportunities, man.
That's great. Like it's interesting the stories we tell ourselves, right? We're not good enough. This guy's not
Yeah,
going to be able to like understand me. I don't want to be on
yeah.
this call. And it's really like at the end of the day, we're dealing with people. And I've kind of, for me, I've kind of gone all in on this experience. Like I trying my best. Like you're like, oh, we have a holiday. I'm like, well, what's a holiday? What are you eating? I'm curious. Where are you going on your vacation trip? My kids being homeschooled, it gives me an opportunity. Like they know who you are now, right? And I'm like, oh, this is where Fahad's going. Let's look it up. Let's like find out like three things about when you're heading up to the mountains. Let's find out three things about that. It's been a real interesting for me too, because the world is a big place and I haven't seen much of it. So I get to experience some of this through you and through your Instagram. And you don't share too many things of your personal life, but you know, when you're getting on those trips, it was nice to see some of that stuff. It's
You
been a
won't
cool
believe
experience.
I've never been on a plane before. I know this is very weird to hear this, but
All
I've never
right.
been on a plane. I've never been on a plane before. uh so there's like a belief in my heart, and I believe that whenever I'm going to fly for the first time, I'm going to fly to a very holy and very religious place to us Muslims. It's KSA, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Have you ever heard about it?
I've heard of
Saudi.
Saudi
Have you
Radio.
heard?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So that's our very holy and religious place. So I'm just I'm very interested and looking forward to that. When I'm gonna fly for the very first time, I'm just flying to KSA, and just it's going to be a very interesting and very spiritual journey for me. And I'm just getting things ready for that. Before that, I have to do a lot of things for my people here. So once it's done, I'm flying, and I'll be
Book it,
sharing a
baby.
lot of
Book
stuff.
it.
Yes, I'm planning to fly in the next a month or two.
Oh, I
So
can't wait.
whenever I'll be there, I'll get to share a lot of with you. Yeah, really excited.
Awesome. Are you going to bring the whole family? What are you going to do? Or
No,
just
so
you?
I sent my parents last year, so I bear all the expenses and everything. So, but this time I'm just flying solo because managing kids there, because it's a very you know crowded place, and millions of people on a daily basis get to visit that place. So it's very sacred and very religiously and very crowdy. So this won't be very convenient and easy for me to manage 2 years old with me and everything. So I'm flying solo. But after that, I'll be flying with kids. The first trip my with my family would be to Disneyland, because my elder one, she's 4.5 years old, and she's very fond of Disney. So I'll be flying her to Disneyland, and yeah, really excited. Do you guys have Disney in Canada?
No, we have Florida. We went to Disney with our boys. Was lucky. My parents took care of us, and a very generous gift from them. And we went to Florida and went to Disneyland last year. From here, you can drive to Florida. It takes 20 hours. So my
Wow.
family, we've been going to Florida since I was a little kid, and we just pack up the car and we drive all the way there. And I have family that lives there too. So if you go to Orlando, if you go to Disney, I will make my way there. I actually have family in Orlando, so
Whoa.
I could head up there and definitely meet you and the family. Disneyland was
Yes.
it's crazy. There's like so much going on. It's a little bit too touristy at some points, but it was a magical experience for the kids for sure.
Yeah,
And
for
because
the
of
kids.
that,
Yeah.
I loved it too. So I definitely would put that. It used to be on the list of places I never wanted to go. Now I'm so happy that I went because my kids loved it, and through them, I had such a great experience. And the roller coasters were great, actually.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you should somehow consider flying to Pakistan. It's amazing. It has so much to offer, the hospitality, uh, and I would say it is one of the top tourist places in 2024. if you get to see the list and everything, we have a lot to offer. The seasons here, the people here, the hospitality, the food. I am sure your food is amazing, but you have never ever, I'm sure you have never ever tasted Pakistani and Indian food, because once it touch your taste buds, you're not going anywhere. Trust me.
Yeah.
And you'll be finding restaurants in Canada who get to prepare Indian and Pakistani food. Trust me. And you'll be
Th-
looking forward for that.
There's only a couple places in my city that have it. So I've tried it, but very limited, very, very limited on the
What
food
did you
I've
try?
tried. I wouldn't even remember. Some kind of chicken. The
Tikka, chicken tikka,
Yeah,
maybe.
yes, the bread, right? It was the
Uh
very,
huh.
very thin bread, not pita, but like almost like a flat bread. Very
Yeah, yeah,
delicious.
yeah.
Some like Greek, I want to say, not Greek sauce, obviously. It's like almost like a Greek yogurt kind of
Hmm.
sauce.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was very good. It was very, very good, but my limited, very limited. I love food and I love to experience things when I go too. So I
Hmm.
would absolutely love that. That'd be outstanding.
uh, I am speaking with you about my food and I'm getting water in my mouth. Trust me, it's so delicious. This is the reason. This is the reason why we guys are so heavy. We are so much foodie, man. We are too much. We are in food. In food, we are the end in spices. Our food is so spicy that you cannot even consider of. But as soon as you hear first day in Pakistan or India, you get to say, man, what am I eating, man? This is so spicy and everything. Second day, you get to say, I'm actually enjoying it. After a week, you'll be like, I'm not eating anything else than this Indian and Pakistani food. It's so addicted. So yeah, really excited.
So what's the
People are
season there
so
right now? Is it the same? It's summer here. It's like end of summer here. What are you there?
you guys have never ever seen a summer like this. You know what summer here means. You know what summer here means? 50 degrees centigrades.
Oh
This is
my
what we call.
god. It was
This is what
35
we
this
call.
week and people are losing their minds.
Oh my god. Then that's why I'm telling you guys. You guys haven't seen the summer. Trust me, you guys haven't seen the summer here. It's 50 degrees. Our ACs get to they don't get to work when it exceeds the 45 degrees mark, and it's way too much. And it's all the place where I live. It's all desert, desert around. So it's way too much hot, and the sun feels like it's on top of your head and everything. But yeah,
You need to
this is
visit
this is
Canada in
why.
the winter. This is what you need to do.
On the same way, I think we won't be able to handle the Canadian winters as well. We might get freezed.
You'd be shivering.
Exactly. What do you guys call the winters? Like, when does it start and when does it end?
So where I live, it's actually very mild. But if you go north from here, because we are like I'm touching Detroit. So a lot of the times when I called you from my home office, like the
Hmm.
window that was behind me, kind of where this picture is on Zoom, that
Yeah,
window
yeah.
you were looking at Detroit. That's how close it is to us. So
Oh,
Detroit, Michigan. So we're right at the border. But when you head up north, like or out west, the snow it gets so cold. So we're lucky; it doesn't get too bad here. We don't get very much snow, just a little bit every year. But it
yeah,
gets
yeah.
definitely way cold the further you head up. The
Hmm. And one question I was thinking that I would definitely ask you is that, do you guys get to see a lot of Indians and Pakistanis around you? Like, I think a lot of Asians have been moving to Canada since lately. What do you think? Like, is it like
Yes.
that?
Yeah, so the school I went to before,
Uh-huh.
St. Clair College, where I used to play football and kind of went to school, mostly football, a little bit of school. It's very popular with India and Pakistani, and I don't know exactly how what the status is if they come as students and they stay, or if like I don't really understand how, but it's like it's hundreds and hundreds. Like the one dorm is pretty much full. So I don't understand why what our little town has to offer versus Toronto, which is massive. But there
Yeah.
is a huge population now here, and in this little town that we live in as well, which is one thing
But
too that
but
we're finding. Like a lot of people, unfortunately, in my culture, it's working a hard job for minimum wage is somehow become below them, and people want to start up higher, even when you're just fresh out of school with no experience. And I think we're
mhm.
finding too that a lot of people that are coming from other countries are very appreciative of the wage they're receiving and willing to come out and work at Walmart and work, as waiters or dishwashers. And that's one thing that we're seeing in the job force around here,
Hmm.
which makes
Yeah, yeah,
sense when
but
you're saying about making $100, you know,
yeah,
right?
yeah, and that's not like everybody's making around $100. I'm talking to you about when I left my job in 2021. It was $100 then, and I was making way much better than the others. Right now, the minimum wage is $100 that everybody is making around here.
Is this a month, a
So
week? What is this?
no, no, this is a month.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm gonna be very honest with you. Yeah, just because of the third world countries, and we've been dealing with a lot of political instability, you guys might heard of.
Right.
So yeah, this is what our currencies and everything. This is kind of struggling a lot. But India is doing amazing. They guys are doing so much good. New startups been coming, new companies been coming there. The guys are doing amazing. So they're like just our neighbor countries. So I get to talk about them and us a lot with my clients as well. So yeah.
I think when people get on the calls with you, they must think sometimes it's going to be very, very cheap. Like for me, we make a considerable investment, like what we pay to you, and so people can understand it. It ends up being roughly what I was paying the guy before. However, I feel like I'm getting about three times as much
Hmm.
back, and with an
Hmm.
increased quality of the content, which has been great for me. And one thing I've loved with dealing with you is, we have an agreement. I pay you X, and you provide X, but you're always giving me more, which I think is like people should understand in business. That's what I try to do here at the garage gym. Sure, they pay
Yep.
me, and this is the transactional, like at a minimum. You pay me this, and I give you this. But I want them to leave here thinking they got so much more than they paid for every single day. And you do that
Yes.
for me, and I very much notice it and appreciate it. When you guys rebranded my just that little picture of me, that little circle picture that goes on Instagram, it just looks so much more professional. And you send me like, you're like, hey, you kind of basically said, hey, your things look like shit. Use these. And I'm like, I was like, well, I didn't even pay him for that. But it's those little things that might seem minor, I guess, to some people, or maybe even to you. I don't know how much work it was, but it's like very, very appreciated. So I think that you and your team are doing a great job of that, of providing like value beyond perceived value, which is important.
Because that's why I talk about the vibe. If we don't get to have a vibe working with you, because why would I go extra mile and do extra efforts, going for anyone. So I think getting a vibe is very important. I get the vibe with you. You are very, very uh, very respectful. You pays attention. You Because what happened the other day, it was very rarely, but I would like to share it with you. A guy came in and he was like, I have this project, and I would like your help. And I was like, yeah, sure, just share the links with me, and I would like to see that whether or not if I would be able to help you or not. In the first place, I need to make sure that if I can help you or not. I just kind of did a free audit for him and shared the link with him that this is my understandings, and no charges, just no cost at all. This is just a free audit for you. And he was like, what, are you gonna help me, or are you just gonna tell me that how shitty my content and how shitty my thing is? And I was like, no, dude, this is not shitty. People charge for that. People charge to tell you that what needs to be improved and what we can work on and everything. And you are telling me that this thing, I mean, so people are, they never get to be happy, no matter whatever you do for them. The one who like to work with you, he would say, yes, let's go. I saw the vision in you, and I know that you are the right guy, you're the perfect guy, will be a perfect man, and we're good to go. But when the vibe doesn't match and everything, you get to see, yeah, man, if he provided this resource for free, it means he's criticizing me. Instead, a positive mind would think, man, he's so good, man, he did a free audit for me. I owe him a thank you. But like, vibe is really important. That's why I talk about the vibe a lot on this podcast, especially.
Yeah, good. I believe in it very much. I believe in it very much. And speaking of vibe, you're going to appreciate this because It's baseball tournament this weekend, so it's my kids. It's like the very end of the season, and this is the what we've been working for. We go away, so I'm going to be shaving as soon as we get off this podcast. I'm shaving this down, and I'm leaving the mustache, baby. And
Uh-huh.
my wife, she's gonna make fun of the
Look at this
mustache,
guy.
and you know what I say? I go, Fahad likes
Yeah.
the mustache, and she's like, okay, good, you go ahead, grow your mustache for Fahad. So that's been like one of my conversations to her is like, but Fahad
Oh
likes
my
it.
god.
I'm like, she's like, well, I'm glad he thinks you should keep it, but
Oh. Oh
Fahad doesn't
god.
deliver the kisses, so I gotta do something. I gotta mix
No
it up
homo.
somehow. Right? I
No
gotta.
homo. No homo. Nah, she's amazing, man. Her attitudes, her personality.
A
Because
little bit
I
of
was
a Viking, we say.
yeah. That's the right word. That's the right word. I was editing the that red carpet event, and the way she the way she was confident, and she had tattoos and everything, and I was like, look at her, man. She's like amazing, amazing. Because this is something that uh, in our culture we don't get to see this because lately it's getting better. Very successful entrepreneurs and women are coming here, and they're doing some amazing job, and they're doing some very amazing stuff. But before a decade or so, we don't have much female participation in our culture and society. So this might looks like what is he talking about, but this is something that we appreciate a lot, because this is something we started seeing a years or so ago. To you guys might be something, this is very common, like, what is he talking about, this is very normal. But to us it is very something we appreciate a lot, because we just started seeing this lately, and this is amazing. Women empowerment and women participation is something that our culture have never ever witnessed, and we started seeing this, and we are really excited to see that, man. Women are so good at so many things, especially in our space, in creative space. Women are so good because the designs and this creative side of things, women tend to have that, muscle memory, or what should I call it.
Right.
They're very good in it, yeah.
Yeah. So
So
we've seen here
that's
is that the increase in like women like not caring about being skinny, caring about being strong. That has really
mm,
changed over the last 10 years here. And I think Danny, in our little space here at the garage gym, she's been a big part of that. I don't know if you know this, she was an undercover drug cop, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah,
she used to do. So she's done some things that, is not typical. When she
yeah,
goes to school with all the parents, like all the other moms, she's kind of done some things that the other moms have like, don't really
yeah, yeah,
understand.
yeah.
So she's been able to kind of provide that consistent, because it's easy for me to say, hey, you should have muscles, get stronger, don't worry about it.
Yes,
It's easy for me to say that to
yeah,
them, and they don't, but they can't, they know I don't understand. Whereas when it's coming
yes,
from Danny, it comes from different. And it's been really nice to see that women here are embracing, you see the
yeah,
the picture of the painting that we have on the wall, the sturdy, you know, they're embracing that, and now they're passing that on to their daughters, and who are passed on to their daughters. So we really feel like that stuff is really making a difference. Huge. I know the Tango One podcast, we don't spend too much time talking about women's rights usually, but I am very proud of that part that
yes,
Danny and this space have brought to our little community, which has a ripple effect out. So it's good to hear that you guys are making some changes over there too. You have a woman on your team, and the
yes,
creative
sir.
stuff is huge too. I know that the women on my team all make fun of me when I start being the designer in here, but yeah, they're like, why don't you
Yeah.
leave that to us? Like, okay, don't worry about it then. Sure.
Tony, what do you think about having kids, man? Because to me, having kids is something that changed my life forever. What do you think? What do you think about having kids?
Oh man, the kids, it's like everything. I can't explain how much it changed. I used to not understand. I used to think people were too crazy about their kids and they lose their own identity. And I do believe some people still do lose their identity. Their kids become their identity, which I don't think is good either. But
Yeah,
I mean, having these children, it's like the inspiration to like, it's the inspiration to do this job well. That's for sure. When I was, the pictures behind me, when I was doing that old job, it was great. I freaking loved it. Right. It was exciting. I was making a difference. I was doing hero shit, but I was bound to something that was going to make me not be able to be as good of a father, not just because of the things I was seeing and the emotional part of it, but just the dedication to having to go to work shifts. So the
yeah,
fact
yeah,
that, it's 8:30 a.m. here right now, and I'm having this conversation with you, a great conversation. I'm gonna get out on the gym floor in a 30 minutes or so, coach some people, and I'm gonna be done work at 10 a.m. Like I am done
Mm,
work at 10 a.m. Sure, I got computer stuff to do. I probably have some work you've assigned me to get done, but
yeah.
I kind of control my schedule after that. I work 5 a.m. till 10 a.m. Then I can spend time with my family all day, every day, and do things I wouldn't have been able to do my old job. So it's
Mm,
changed me a lot. It's definitely changed Danny a lot. You know, like being a woman undercover cop to like now being a stay at home. Basically, she does work in the gym, but it's limited. Her job is pretty much to homeschool our children. It's such a
wow.
drastic difference in
Wow.
how, you know, she went from like crazy most badass woman job ever to like Little House on the Prairie. It's wild how children change how you have your outlook and how you do things.
Yeah, I was reading Elon Musk has, 9 kids, and the guy who owns the FedEx, he has 10 kids.
Oof.
So I'm asking to you about that success perspective, because the you guys, because what I have realized is I feel more responsible, because I've shared in the beginning of the podcast that I was making $100, $100 back then in 2021, and now I'm making around 10K a month, because which might not be huge to you, but it is to me, and
Oh, Ben, that's big
I'm
money, man. I'd be very happy to be
yeah.
making that.
So I'll be making close to 20 by the end of this year. So coming back to the point, my thing was like, if I won't have kids, I won't. I was satisfied as $100 a month. Honestly,
Right.
I could go to movies. I could spend that money with my friends or my family, and it was sufficient. Not too much, but it was okay to live a normal life. But when I had kids, it pushed me on a daily basis. I wake up for the gym at 7 a.m., just because I just want to set a good example for my kids, so when they grown up, they should see me as the hero. Like, if he get to go to the gym, he take care of himself, then we have to do the same and everything. So having kids shape you in a lot of ways, just financially, motivationally, physically, everything entirely. Kids are an entire shift, if somebody who get to appreciate that, uh, as far as they don't forget their individuality. So yeah, kids are a blessing, I would say.
Yeah, man. I think that's in a nutshell. I think you really summed it up that well there, man. This has been just an outstanding episode. Having you on here has
It
been
is.
fantastic. I got to get you on here with Mike's energy one time too. All three of us. It'd be hard to
Yeah.
do on Zoom, but we got to do it live. Maybe Mike and I fly to Pakistan and we record right there in
Whoa.
your studio. But not when it's
Yes, sir. Yes,
45
sir.
out. Let's like do when it's like springtime, whatever that is.
Anytime, anytime, and we can do the same virtual recording session as well. Mike has an energy, man. Mike is an artist, man. What are you talking about? Mike is an artist.
Oh,
He
bro,
got the vibe. He got the vibe, man. He is
he is
amazing.
awesome. He's been just like such an addition to this podcast. It's been so
Yeah.
great. It's really made it more fun. And you know, and then the last thing before I let you go, to toot your horn a little bit. I mean, I don't know if you've been following, but my Instagram has grown. Like it's grown the actual interactions and all those things that matter, you know, that you tell me that matter, the, you know, the followers don't necessarily matter, the likes don't necessarily matter, but my
Yes.
interactions are up huge, my likes
Yes.
are up, my followers are up, the things that aren't as important. But so like what you're doing is working, and you know, we're seeing more leads come in, and I think it is so much to do with you, but it's also the fact that I am like, even though I pay you, I feel bound to you to get some things done. And I think I'm working harder on my end to do things better so that you can give me back. So I'm getting a better return on my investment. So it's kind of worked both ways. Just like in the gym, the investment I'm making into you is making me more accountable to myself, right? Just like if you talked about you paying your trainer, that money you paid your trainer has made you more accountable to going, right? So there
Yes.
is, you know, pay to play, and it is true. And
Exactly.
you know, as much as we have a friendship, there's still a transaction there, and it works for both of us in that way. And I hope like a lot of people do that with the training. And you and I, you're going to be helping me launch my a more I guess a louder remote program
And
that
a
I'm going to be
tailored.
launching too, right? Like, and more tailored to
Yes.
people. Something that I kind of put on the back burner while I got this gym coming out of COVID. I had so many online clients, but the gym needed this gym needed my attention, and I had to kind of let that part of my business go. and get this thing back on the road. Now it's time to launch again and start working with some people one-on-one to make a greater difference. So I'm pumped to put that out with you.
Yeah, and I'm also looking forward to welcome Mikey to the Fathers Gang and having a podcast again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. All
Amazing,
right,
amazing.
everybody. Please go like, follow all those beautiful things. Leave us a 5-star review. And please follow my guy, Fahad. Okay, you can get him at, what is it? It's 60
60-second
second
reels.
reels. That's his actual
Yes,
handle. Is
sir.
just exactly that. 60 spelled like the word. And second reels. You follow him there. He's got great stuff. If you're building your own content, whether you want to invest in or not, his stuff is very helpful to help you no matter where you are. If you're just starting off and not ready for him yet, get that stuff going. It'll be easier when he does take over, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Over and
Amazing,
out,
amazing.
man. Thank you.